Hello everybody and welcome to another video. I forgot what I call these, games journalism's finest. It's been a while since I made one of these videos, so it kind of slipped my mind. Alright, leave me alone. Anyway, we're here to talk about this article right here, right in front of our faces, from Waypoint, part of Vice's whatever. The title is, I Wish Resident Evil 2 Let Me Be a More Compassionate Hero. Interesting. Resident Evil 2 is a scary, effective fantasy of permission and scarcity. But I want to be a different kind of survivor. Then play a different kind of game? Anyway, let's get right into this. I'm playing Resident Evil 2 for the first time, well, mostly back in 1998. My 14-year-old self scoured, I can read, the pages of a tips and tricks magazine walkthrough of the game, covering every gameplay beat and plot point. Interesting that you said tips and tricks magazine. You don't remember the name of the magazine? I know 1998 was a long time ago, but I figured you'd at least remember the name of the magazine. And I played for a few minutes of it on a friend's PS1, so I'm familiar with the scenery and structure, the quests and characters. But this is the first time I'm truly experiencing it. That's interesting because you say that you've played it by using a magazine with tips and tricks and played it a little bit at a friend's house. So you have played it. You have played it in full, right? Going by this article, I don't think this person has. It's scary and tense, and very much a period piece. A late 90s survival horror game set squarely in the later Clinton era? Clinton era? What does Bill Clinton have to do with this? What does politics have to do with this? At all? With dollar gallon of gas and chunky computers? Like, when was the last time you heard someone say something like, oh, I remember when gas was 30 cents in 1967, the good old LBJ era? Who's ever done that? Who's ever talked about the cost of something and then referred to it as a presidential era? Yeah, you know what I mean. Whatever. The point is, it doesn't make sense to bring up Clinton. Now boasting some modern designs, niceties?
Nicety.
There we go. Playing on normal, I can save as many times as I'd like, and the cutscenes and visuals are prettied up to Resident Evil 7 standards. It's good to know. But one thing that's sticking out to me, still early on in the police station, is how perfectly the game uses scarcity and it's in this fantasy of hyper competence to make me feel a certain way. How much permission it gives me to be a total solipsism. There we go. That's it. Asshole. The lone survivor type. Okay, there are a couple of other survivors, but I need not to interact with them in terribly complex ways or deal with the politics of survival. What politics is there in survival? Seriously. Stop trying to shoehorn politics into everything. How the fantasy here presents an uncomfortable tension between the ways I want to roleplay in this world versus the way the game requires me to play to make it through the night. Well, that's because you're playing a character that is a pre-made character. You're playing as Claire Redfield or Leon Kennedy. These are already, well, I don't want to say established characters, but the character is established. This isn't Skyrim where you make your character. Okay, it's a character that already has a mindset to him, whatever it is. It's like I remember when people during the Last of Us, the first Last of Us game, people didn't like a lot of the ways that Joel did things, and it's like, well, you got to remember, you're playing as Joel. You're not just playing as a character that you made up. This isn't a voiceless, faceless character that you just random selected into some goblin-looking fucking creature, and you can just do what you want with and pick your storylines and stuff like that. This is a story. It's not a branching out kind of pick your own, choose your own story type bullshit. As I stuck the halls of the station, dressed as they are in blah 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 lights, tones, old museum, I'm vulnerable. I don't have many bullets to protect myself with. I have far fewer healing items. Zombies are tough even on normal. They take multiple headshots, and they don't often stay down. I have to raid this place to survive by looking in lockers, desks, and weird corners and dark cabinets. And I'm collecting all kinds of things. Bullets, sure, but also gunpowder, knickknacks for puzzles. Ugh, that's one thing that always sucked about Resident Evil. Keys, crappy boards to slam onto windows, keep up the riffraff. As the item's tooltips tells me. Well, there's part of your problem. You're listening to the tooltip. But then you're probably not really a gamer either. At first, I oddly felt weird at taking things. The station was designed as a shelter during the zombie outbreak. There are cots, bloody sheets, IV stands, boxes of food, and medical supplies everywhere. Early on, protagonists Claire and Leon hear a radio message instructing all citizens to head to the station. That notion is wild. The police station as fortress/safe haven is laughable naive, particularly for people of color. And there it is. Finally, we got to racism. Of course, shocking. That's racist! It certainly was in the 90s as well. And really, when was police in America ever actually even about keeping neighborhoods safe as opposed to keeping racist status quo up and running? Oh, the sheer ignorance of everything that you're saying, and has nothing to do with the video game at all.
Amazing. Every word of what you just said was wrong.
Though the game does later connect the upper echelon of the police management with the evil, shady doings of the Umbrella Corporation, whose decidedly unethical bioweapons research started the whole zombie apocalypse in the first place. It's been a long time since I've played Resident Evil 2, so I don't remember how the police management, or the upper echelon of the police management, tied in with Umbrella. But sure, I guess so. Umbrella had their hands in a lot of pockets and fingers in a lot of pies. So, yeah. But, like, is this supposed to be, like, is this like your, ha, got him! Police are horrible racists. Even in the 90s, they were horribly racist. And this game proves it. Yeah, this fantasy world video game proves your point. Sure, whatever. I still feel a little bit looting the place. At least at first, since this is staging area for what we in EMS call a mass casualty incident. Ooh, fancy words. I like it. So, of course, I went in thinking like an EMT. What do you mean you went in thinking like an EMT? You literally just got done talking about role-playing. Like, see, that's your whole problem here. You're bitching because you can't role-play the game because it's an established character that you're playing as that already is set on a path. But now you're sitting there saying, like, I can't play this like I would be in real life. That's not role-playing. Like, alright, so if you're playing like Skyrim, are you bitching because you can't go around healing everyone that's got an arrow in their knee? Come on. Like, I feel like you're contradicting yourself here. Is this contradicting? Because I feel like it is. You want to roleplay, but then you want to play as yourself. I mean, I guess you could roleplay as yourself, but then you're not really roleplaying, are you? In fact, I would argue that if you're going to go into a game and be upset that you can't be an EMT or act like yourself as an EMT, then you don't want to roleplay because you're roleplaying already as Claire, someone that's not an EMT. Looking for survivors to help, like the nice dude who saves me from a faulty door, Marvin, who is clearly suffering from one kind of awful wound. Some kind of awful wound. I can't read. I want to help him. Claire wants to help him too. Or does she? I mean, he is black. Racist. Blah, 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 blah. That's racist! Exclaiming that we need to get him to the hospital, but he refuses. Well, if he refuses, that's his right as a person, as an individual. And if you go against that, you're racist, because he's black. And the game doesn't give me any tools for mending wounds or even putting gauze and bandages on something. Wow, it's almost as if you're not supposed to play as an EMT. Maybe Claire should have been an EMT and you would have been a lot happier. The only first aid items are hilariously magical herbs and sprays. I kind of feel you on that to a point, though the guns and blood look, well, more or less like the actual thing. This is a game about dealing and surviving damage, not healing it. No shit, because you're not a fucking doctor. You're not playing this game to fucking just run around and save people with fucking zombie bites. Make that a game. Let's see how that works out. Also, I like that you're talking about these magical herbs that are hilarious. You just said you said you played through the first you played through the original game. Like, whether you play through it cheating or whatever with tips and tricks or whatever, this shouldn't become to a surprise to you that you use herbs. Like, it's been in all of the Resident Evil games. After a while, this person finally gives into the goofy logic. This is goofy logic, because it's not realistic enough, I guess, of being an EMT. Yes, I absolutely need this green plant because 7 more zombies will try to eat my face before I'm done with this floor. Yes, I definitely need this personal locker combination because I need the ammo. See again the 7s. Yeah, you just said it like 1 sentence ago. Like, I'm not a goldfish, alright? My memory isn't 8 seconds long. It's clear that I'm the only real agent in this world. It's been designed around me, my needs. I mean, unless you play as Leon. It's almost as if, you're playing as the main character or one of the 2 main characters of the video game. It's almost as if it's following you and what you need to do. It's almost like when there's a movie and you have the main character and that's who you follow, or even TV shows. Wow.
I'm retarded?
Wow. I mean, you have side characters that matter and stuff too, sure. But this is a video game. So I have permission to loot and run. What do you mean permission? Just mashing the X button to try and drive by, pick up items. There's no one else here, really. What? There's no one else here? So why are you worried about helping other people if there's no one there to help? It's a world all for me, and I'm allowed to do anything I goddamn well please. To treat it all like my own shitty playground. No, I need to treat it this way if I want to progress. And I'm morally allowed to. Because I'm not hurting anyone else. Anyone who is alive anyway. What? The dead people aren't going to use the shit? Because scarcity doesn't affect anyone else in this world. Well, there is no one else in this world. Does it matter to Marvin or Leon for that matter? No, it doesn't matter to Leon because you play as him in your own, on a different playthrough. And he gets his own shit. If I use healing items on myself, nope. If I barely have a scratch on me, I can still walk right up to where Marvin is bleeding out and spray myself with magical healing green shit with no consequences. Why would you have consequences to that? I can use every bullet for myself. You are using every bullet for yourself. Basically in every single game you play. You can say the same thing about healing. You're using healing shit for yourself in every game you play. I'm the only thing I need to worry about for much of the game. I know there's a side quest later that complicates this, but for now, this is just another thing I'm permitted to be selfish. This is interesting to me because the way this person wrote this is, you know there's a side quest later? Do you mean you didn't play the side quest? Did you not play the side quest before when you played this game in the late 90s? Something tells me this person didn't really play this game. At least not all of it. Maybe the demo that came out and that's it. Also, I'm not really allowed to do anything I please as the verbs are pretty limited. I wanted to play with all the food items in the store in the opening gameplay scene. Look at all the goofy fake labels and such like I do in Life is Strange or Walking Sims. Oh my god. But that's a very different sort of permission fantasy, isn't it? Yes! Yes! A walking simulator and fucking Life is Strange are not Resident Evil games. They're different. They're completely different games. They're completely different types of games. The ability to touch and play with so many aspects of the world with no angry shopkeepers staring at me and my now very obviously queer haircut.
Ha! Gay!
Wow, TOS? Plus, who are you saying has a queer haircut? Claire? Or are you talking about fucking what's her name in Life is Strange? Because I can agree with that. But here I am limited and encouraged to engage in a whole bunch of antisocial behavior, stealing shit. I mean, there's a difference between stealing stuff and looting an empty, deserted place because everyone's dead. Shooting antagonists in the face, stabbing them, trying to get them to walk halfway into a door so I can headshot them. I can, quote-unquote, interact with survivors sometimes, but only in a very prescripted way. Well, yeah. Look, I don't know what you're expecting here. It doesn't sound like you know what you're talking about. There's a storyline. There's a story arc. You're playing as a character that's already developed to be this character and to play out this way. You're just controlling her as she goes through this story of hers. That's it. You're not playing your life. You're not playing a character that you made up with choose your own adventure bullshit. I don't know why that you can't get that through your head, it seems like. I know this design paradigm is not new. This is a survival horror game doing completely and even well the kinds of things the genre is good at. No shit. So then why are you bitching about it? It's a terrible world and I have to survive. RE2 successfully put me in the mindset inside of its first hour. That's probably all you played of it. I've stopped playing this game like an EMT. You should have never have attempted to play this game as an EMT. You should have played this game as a mindless zombie. Like, you are controlling another character with their own everything, their own personality, their own way of thinking, their own beliefs, whatever. And that is shown in the character throughout the game. The character design supports this too. I'm playing as Claire right now, a white chick that's racist, in a leather jacket who open carries a sidearm everywhere she goes, just on an average day, not for a special occasion like the day hell broke loose in Raccoon City. Claire probably brings her trusty handgun to get her haircut. Her queer haircut. It's just who she is. And as she remarks to Marvin early on, I can take care of myself. She can. Claire has obviously combat training and handles herself well. She's a leather-wearing, motorcycle driving, oh so 90s badass woman character. The kind I frankly often enjoy playing as. I love that, like, every characteristic that you point out about her is what you can just see within the first 5 seconds. You are such a shallow human being that you are taking Claire as a person just by what she wore and her gun and her motorcycle that she drives. In real life, I carry a tourniquet, exam gloves, and gauze everywhere I go. I keep a little kit right by my real life purse. In my real life purse, just in case I need to help someone. I've had to use it before, the gloves and gauze anyway, as a passerby to an assault. Woo! Dish on that. I thankfully never needed to use my supplies in a zombie outbreak, not yet, but I'd like to think in my heart of hearts that I'd be different kind of survivor than Claire or Leon are really allowed to be in Resident Evil 2. Well, going by what you think a survivor should be, you'll probably be dead within the first 10 minutes of a zombie apocalypse by getting your face ripped off or eaten off. Nom 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 nom. I really don't have... I've said everything I needed to say about this while reading it to all of you in the best way that I can as a stupid person that can't read well. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. If you like this video, like it. If you don't like it, dislike it. But if you dislike it, you gotta tell me why. Constructive criticism. I need it, and I want it. Thanks for watching.